Okay, welcome everyone. This session is being recorded. We have Leslie Lowry with us, and she is going to be sharing with us how we can use our 31 gift cards to Disney that we are earning right now. So remember that we can earn a $3,000 gift card or we can earn a $5,000 gift card. And Leslie's going to show us how we can spend that, the different ways we can do that so we can start planning our vacations now and get excited. So thanks, Leslie, and go for it.
Okay, so thank you so much, first off, for letting me join you guys and tell you all about Disney. It's a passion of mine. So by day, this is my sweet little family, and on our March, and it was our 11th Disney destination trip since that 2012 vacation. So needless to say, we drank the Kool-Aid, we fell in love, and we go all the time. So about our third trip in, I started realizing how much I loved helping other people plan their vacations. And so I looked into becoming a travel agent that specializes in Disney vacations on the side. And so I work for Fairy Tale Journeys, and I'm an independent contractor with them. And then just recently, my husband and I, because we love Disney so much, started a podcast and blog site, www.addictedtothemouse.com. So if you want lots of Disney knowledge, go and check those out. I am here today to help you guys get excited about earning this vacation, answer your questions. You are welcome to use me when booking the vacation, but absolutely do not feel obligated to. I just really have a passion for all things Disney and like to share that. So let's dive into what you really want to know about. So the first destination we're going to talk about is Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. So they have 3 categories of rooms. You can have a value resort, moderate resort, or deluxe resort. So I have, what I did on the next screen that you're going to see here in a minute is I went ahead and quoted some prices based on these rooms. So there's tons of resorts to pick from. The one in the top left corner that you see right up here, and this is Pop Century. It's a popular value resort that I've had several people go to, and they always seem to really like it. So this is the room that I quoted for Pop Century. The one over here on the top right is Port Orleans French Quarter. It's got a New Orleans flair. It is one of the more popular moderate resorts. And then the one down here on the bottom, this is the Contemporary Resort. One of the really great features of the Contemporary is that it is the closest to Magic Kingdom. So you can actually walk to Magic Kingdom. It's about a 10-minute walk. And this is the theme park view. I figured if I was going to quote a room at the Contemporary, I might as well blow it out and make it a theme park room, right? So you could see Magic Kingdom from your resort room and watch the fireworks. So this is what I did is I made up a family of 2 adults and 2 children, ages 7 and 4. And quoted each of those resorts. Now, keep in mind that the prices that you see here are what we call rack rate. So there are no promotions added to this. There's no discounts. And Disney is constantly releasing discounts for all throughout the year. So the likelihood that you would go and not get any type of perk is very slim, especially if you're headed to Walt Disney World. So you would probably even be able to get these rooms at a much cheaper rate. So you can look at the vacation offer number 1 there. That's that Pop Century room. That's the value resorts. This is for our family of 4 for a random week in September. So for 7 nights. And the total for that room is about $2,500. Now keep in mind, like I said, that is without discounts. The vacation offer 2 is the moderate resort at Port Orleans. And that same family for that same week is $3,250. And then that vacation offer 3 at the deluxe resort is about $6,000. So it jumps up pretty significantly. However, I was telling Sarah yesterday that I have clients that I've booked at the Polynesian before, which is another deluxe resort. that they're going for 6 nights. They're a family of 4, and they have the dining plan. So everything all included is $5,500. So it really, but they were able to apply a promotion. So it's very doable. Looking at this right here at the Walt Disney World Resort, if you earn your $3,000 card or your $5,000 card, you have a lot of options. On the left-hand side, I quoted, since this original vacation offer, it does not include dining. It includes your room and your theme park tickets, so a 4-day ticket. So I put over on the left-hand side of the screen there what it would be to add the quick service dining as well as the regular Disney dining plan. So the difference between those 2 dining plans, the quick service is 2 quick service meals. So a quick service meal is, think of walking up to the counter, ordering, they give you your food and you go find a place to sit. So you get 2 quick service meals, 2 snacks, and a refillable mug. And that's per person per night. Here is the example of the value resort over at Disneyland. That is Paradise Pier Hotel. Now, what's really unique and kind of interesting about Disneyland is that everything is within walking distance. So you have a strip where the 3 hotels, as well as downtown Disney, and then the 2 parks are all within walking distance. So it's really kind of nice. You don't ever have to get in a car if Disneyland is all you're doing for that period of time. So this is the Paradise Pier Hotel that I quoted. And to stay there, I did not quote the time for as long because Disneyland is significantly smaller than Disney World. So a lot of people don't go for as many nights as they do to Disney World. But we have that same family going from September 13th through the 17th. And with 3-day tickets is about $3,000. Keep in mind, once again, this is rack rate, so this has no promotions applied to it. Now you'll note on this one, you can see where it has this little add flight button. If you do add your flight through the Disney website, or if you have a travel agent and the travel agent adds your flight through the Disney website, then you can use that gift card that you earn towards your flight as well. All right. This is the Disneyland Hotel, and this is the moderate resort. This is actually where my husband and I stayed when we went out to Disneyland, and it's a cool little resort. You'll see in this picture here on the headboard above the beds, it almost looks like that's lit up. Well, it does. If you push a little button next to your lamp, it plays a song. I believe it was When You Wish Upon a Star, and the fireworks all light up, and it's just kind of a neat little added touch to the room. It makes it feel really special. They have a really nice pool here at the Disneyland Hotel. And another thing that is at the Disneyland Hotel that I forgot to mention yesterday is Trader Sam's, which is a neat little interactive bar that has a lot of, it's almost an entertainment in and of itself. Okay, so that moderate resort for that same period of time of September 13th through the 17th, it jumps up to $34.48 for this family of 4. And then we have the deluxe resort. So this is called the Grand Californian. A really cool feature about the deluxe resort is that they have their own private entrance into the park. So you don't have to fight the crowds with the bag check and security and everything else. On the general entrance that everybody else goes to, you can actually just enter into a special entrance that is provided through the hotel itself. So being the deluxe resort, that bumps it up to $3777.96. I quoted a woods or courtyard view. A lot of these rooms, I didn't necessarily pick the standard view because that's usually like a parking lot. I picked kind of like the one bump up from that. So there's also the option that if you don't care what you're looking at, that you can bump down to a standard view. All right, so now let's talk about Disney Cruise. Disney has received multiple awards for their cruise line, and rightfully so. It has so many excellent features that I wanted to go over with you guys before we jump into price. So one of the cool things about Disney is that they have what's called rotational dining. So if you know anything about cruises, you've probably been familiar with the idea that you go to the same restaurant, sit at the same table, have the same servers every single night of your cruise. Well, with Disney, you have the same servers, but you rotate through their different restaurants. So every evening you have a different experience, different entertainment. For instance, we just went on a cruise over spring break, and the first night we went to Tiana's place, which was kind of a Cajun flair. There was a live band. The second night we went to Triton's, so it was all themed around Ariel through Little Mermaid, Triton, being her dad. And then the last night we went to Animator's Palette, and it was sketches all over the walls of all these Disney characters, and then the screens went from black and white sketches, and as it progressed through dinner, they transitioned to full animated action. So really cool and unique. And then in the top right corner, you see a picture of the Golden Mickeys there. Disney also has Broadway caliber shows every single night of your trip, and these shows are not to be missed. They are phenomenal. Some of the best, most talented people that I've ever seen perform. They also have the unique offer of having fireworks at sea. I don't know if you guys are as big of fans of fireworks as I am, but I think I cry almost every single time I watch a fireworks show. But something really cool about seeing them shoot out over your ship in the middle of the ocean is awesome. So this, they usually incorporate it with their pirate night. It's a big dance party, and the characters come out, and just really super cool. This is an example of a room in the Disney Cruise Line. And another unique thing about Disney is that they have a split bathroom in the deluxe staterooms and above. So the only rooms that don't have it are the standard inside staterooms, but the deluxe inside staterooms and every other room has what's called a split bathroom. And so that means that one bathroom in your room has a toilet and a sink, and the other bathroom has a sink and a shower. So it makes it really convenient for families who are multiple people are trying to get ready at the same time. And then they have an entire floor or level of the ship that is dedicated to kids. So they have an Oceaneer Club and an Oceaneer Lab, and your children are given a magic band that tracks them throughout the ship. You drop them off. Adults aren't allowed back there, and they do all kinds of awesome activities with the kids. Pajama parties with Pluto, learning how to be a superhero with Captain America, just tons of stuff. My kids begged to stay. They didn't hardly ever want to be with us, which means that you get some really great adult time on your vacations. So Disney cruises are pretty awesome. All right, so once again, I just kind of picked a random period of time. I went out into May of 2018 for this family of 4. This gives you an idea for a 4-night cruise. This cruise in particular stops at Nassau, Bahamas, and Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island, and give you an idea of the different prices there. Now, this is not always typical prices. So that cruise that we just went on was significantly less. We stayed in an inside stateroom, and I believe for our family of 4, I think it was $2,600. So, it varies depending on when you go and what kind of room you stay in. So I also quoted the 7-night cruise, both Alaskan and an Eastern Caribbean, just to kind of give you an idea of what a 7-night cruise might look like. All right, so let's move out to Hawaii. So this is Aulani over in Hawaii area. They have a lazy river, lots of activities at the resort, including character interactions, as you can see here with Stitch. So for that same week that we quoted for Disney World, that same family of 4, this is a standard room out in Aulani, and it's $3,900. And then you can see down here that depending on the view, you would just add different prices for different types of views. All right, I did not quote these two resorts, but I wanted to mention them. Hilton Head Resort in Hilton Head, South Carolina is the top one with the red roof that you see there. And then Vero Beach Resort is in Vero Beach, Florida, which is about 2 hours from Orlando, and that's the one on the bottom. I didn't figure that they would probably be quite as popular as Walt Disney World or Disneyland or Cruise or Alani as especially if you're earning these awesome trips, but absolutely they are an option to use your gift card on if that is where you would like to go. All right, so I want to give you an idea on what using a travel agent that specializes in Disney vacations can provide you, whether that is me or somebody else. I highly recommend it. So first, and probably the biggest thing, is that it's entirely free. So whether you book your vacation yourself or you have that travel agent do it, there is not an additional fee that you incur. So there's really not a reason to not use them, especially whenever they can provide a huge expertise in Disney. So all travel agents that specialize in Disney vacations are required to be graduates of the College of Disney Knowledge, as well as keep up to date with all of the current modules that they put out to keep us educated. Also, you'll never miss out on a promotion or potential discount. So even whenever you book a vacation, then your travel agent is constantly watching for those promotions to be put out and see if they can apply it to your trip. There is nothing quite like getting to send that client an email or call them and let them know that you just saved them $500 on their upcoming vacation. So that's always a big perk. And then itinerary planning, especially when you're looking at going to Walt Disney World Resort or Disneyland, being able to have someone have knowledge of the dining and accommodations and all of that is really important. And then booking fast passes as well. So Sarah had asked yesterday what a fast pass was. Basically, it is an opportunity to, ahead of time, if you're staying on resort, you can do it 60 days prior to your vacation. You get to go on your My Disney Experience and book your fast passes. So it is a opportunity to pick a popular ride. So for instance, Peter Pan's Flight or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Shortly after park opening, within probably about an hour, those rides have 75-minute, 90-minute, sometimes 120-minute waits. And who wants to spend their time that they have this vacation they've paid for spending 2 hours in line for a ride, right? So if you book a fast pass, you get to go in a separate entrance and then you end up waiting about 5 to 10 minutes. So it's a huge perk. You get 3 of those fast passes in a park per day. And they have to all be booked within the same park, but then you have what's called a rolling fast pass after those first 3 are used that you can get on your little app and just see what fast passes are available. So I can tell you, I'm not a huge line fan, and my family never waits longer than 20 minutes for any ride. And we usually get to ride most everything that we want to. So the travel agent can also keep you on track for when payments are due. When, for instance, if you book a Walt Disney World vacation, I recommend booking out as soon as you think you possibly know when you might go, because all it requires for Walt Disney World is a $200 deposit. And then you can make changes or have a risk-free cancellation all the way up until 30 days prior to that vacation. So if you guys think, or you're determined that you're going to earn this trip, I would say start planning now. Go ahead and put that $200 deposit down, and then that's even more motivation for you to go ahead and earn it. And then your vacation specialist will also be available during your vacation for any issues. So it's nice that you can contact your travel agent and say, hey, I need to change this reservation, and then you get to go on stress-free on your vacation while they get to be the ones on the phone. Here is my contact info in case you have any other questions or you would be interested in using me. Like I said, no obligation. I love to just share my passion for Disney. And then there's that website at the bottom that if you want additional information, you're interested in listening to our podcasts or reading the blogs, we try to provide a lot of good info to parents, for parents, by parents. So Just to recap, I want to go back. So you have this great, awesome potential of earning $3,000 or $5,000, right? And I love, every time I've heard Sarah talk about it, she says it's not an option. She's going to earn it. So I love that attitude and that positivity. So since you are going to earn it, let's just recap. And I'm going to go to Disney World, since I think that's probably going to be the most popular, and point out that if you earned that $3,000 card, you could go stay at Pop Century Resort. You could add the dining plan, which if you added that regular Disney dining plan there, that would bump you up to about $3,800, and that's without any discounts. I guarantee you that you can more than likely get that under $3,000. And if you earned that $3,000 card, you could probably go paying very minimal, if anything at all, just for your travel down. You earned that $5,000 card, you could even bump up and you could go to, without any discounts, you could add the dining plan and go to a moderate resort and not have to pay a dime. You'd even have some money left over to spend. And so yesterday we talked about different things you could spend that on. Because it's a gift card, you could add the memory maker, but you could also use it to buy your souvenirs in the stores. So you could get away with not having to hardly pay anything at all. And as I mentioned, I know that this one seems a little bit steeper, but like I mentioned about my other clients who are going and staying at a deluxe resort with their dining and their family of 4 for $5,500, if you earn that $5,000 card, you may be able to get away with staying in a deluxe resort and not having to only have to pay about $500 extra for the trip, and then you're way down there. So there's a lot of really, really great options. Okay, what questions do you guys have?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Marcy and Melissa. So ladies, if you have any questions, you can ask now, or you can go ahead and hit mute again if you don't have any questions. But thank you, Leslie, for all of that information. You might want to explain real quick the memory maker real fast, what that is.
Okay, so Memory Maker, whenever you walk in the parks, there's photos past people everywhere to take pictures of you and your entire family in front of the castle. And if you're like me, either me or my husband ends up not getting to be in any of the pictures throughout the vacation, right? So if you end up taking just all your own pictures. But with PhotoPass, it allows for your entire family to be in that photo. And they do what they call as magical shots. And so I have pictures of my kids set up in funny little ways. And then whenever we get the picture, it's like Pascal from Tangled is sitting in their hands and they're like looking at it being silly. So it's, or Tinkerbell is sprinkling pixie dust above you, or we've had one before where they told us to act like we were cold and Olaf ended up being next to us with it snowing on top of us. So, you know, they do lots of really cool little fun things. But with the Memory Maker, you get to download, and you have access to all those photos, and you can download them as many times as you want for 30 days after your vacation.
Awesome. Okay, does anyone have questions for Leslie?
I do. On the vacation offer 1 and 2, are there shuttles that take you to Disney?
Yes. So that is a great question. My husband and I refer to it as being in the Disney bubble. Whenever we go on our vacation, we like to be in the bubble and stay in the bubble the whole trip. So you have from starting, if you fly into MCO, which is the main international airport in Orlando, they give you a Disney Magical Express that's included in the price of your vacation, and it shuttles you. You don't even pick your luggage up off of the rack. You go straight to the bus. They gather your luggage and bring it to your room within 3 to 4 hours after you land, and they take you straight to the resort. Now with online check-in, you can even bypass the online check-in desk, and they'll text you and tell you what your room number is. You go, you scan your Magic Band, go right in your room, and then there are bus, boat, and monorail transportation throughout all of Walt Disney World that's included that takes you everywhere.
You said it's included in the package?
Yeah, you don't pay anything additional for the transportation.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go off of, say you wanted to go to Universal while you were there or something like that, they don't shuttle you to those places. So that would be an additional cost.
Okay.
Good question, Melissa. Do you two ladies joining us have any other questions? Because it would be helpful for other people that watch the recorded call that don't have the opportunity to ask Leslie. So if you think of anything now, go ahead.
And I know in the past,
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Plan. But there are typically in the rooms a little mini refrigerator, often a microwave. And so a lot of times I'll even like pack a bunch of granola bars or Pop-Tarts or something just to kind of get us through the morning and until we get into the park, and then we can use like our snack options or something like that. There are restaurants at every resort that you can go to and purchase things for all your meals.
okay. And I had one other question for a teammate. Oh. Did somebody else have a question?
I'll ask it in a minute. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
For my teammate, she was asking about the $200 deposit. If they waited until after they know they earned the $3,000, if they do it at that point, can they use $200 of that gift card at that point, or is the $200 out of pocket and then we pay the rest?
You can use a Disney gift card to pay that $200, but you will also have to put down a gift card on the reservation just in case for any incidentals, or if you if they have to charge you for something, it's security purposes for Disney, but you'll have to provide a credit card number, but yes, you can use the gift card for the $200 deposit.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was that clear? I felt like I might have been confusing.
No, I got it.
Okay.
I was just wondering about like per se, like we have 3 children, not 2. How much does it go up when you are adding more children? Is there like an average of say 500 or, per child added, or?
I wouldn't say necessarily that there's an average. If your child is above the age of 3, they're 3 or above, then you would have to pay for an additional ticket into the parks. Once they turn 3, they also count in the dining. You have to pay for the dining plan for them. So under the age of 3, you don't have to pay anything for them. They're completely free. So it's really nice. But once they do get above the age of 3, then there is the extra in fees incurred. Another thing to take into consideration is that several of the value resorts don't have rooms that accommodate more than 4 people. And so sometimes you have to bump up into a family suite in a value resort or a moderate level. So that can kind of sometimes change your cost a little bit.
Okay, so okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, is there just basically I need to talk to like per se like a travel agent or yourself or something to get a more accurate cost analysis for 3 kids versus I guess family of 5 versus a family of 4.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think about if I even have like an example off the top of my head. I know that a 4-day ticket is typically around $400. So that, that part would be added. I'm guessing that you're looking at increasing probably, if I were just to shoot off the hip, like maybe $500 to $600, I'm thinking.
Okay, great. Thank you. I just was wondering, just curious.
Okay.
And also she had said it depends on the time of year that you go. So you may want to check with Leslie on what's the best time to go.
Right, because if you
That's
go
a good point.
if you go at Christmas, you're going to be paying, that's like a peak time to go, so you're going to be paying more. But if you go in the middle of January, not as many people go then. So so it doesn't cost as much.
True. All right, thank you.
Any more questions for Leslie?
No, I think I got it.
I don't think so. Thank you, though.
Okay, for everyone that's watching the recorded version of this information session, Leslie, can you go back to the way to contact you again, please, at the very end?
Sure.
And also, if you're on my immediate team page, Team Rah Rah, Leslie is on that group page temporarily so that you can Facebook message her or post directly to our team page any questions that you have so that she can communicate with you while we're earning this trip. So thanks again for your time. I appreciate it. And one thing that I learned by watching this is I originally wanted to go to Hawaii, and we still might, but I wanted to be able to take my parents to Hawaii with us, but that's going to cost a lot of money coming from Tulsa because of the airfare and because they don't have the entertainment like they do at Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland. I want my kids to be able to experience that. So Hawaii for me is going to probably wait. Because it looks like, from what Leslie said, it's a resort that's Disney themed. They have Disney activities, but there's just the lazy river and a pool, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, they have like a luau, and I mean, there's lots of different activities that they do. But yeah, there's not a big park.
But if you want the actual like Disney experience, what would your top recommendation is? Probably Walt Disney World and then Walt Disneyland.
Yeah, Disney World is definitely hands down my favorite. The cruises are phenomenal, and then Disneyland. So.
Oh, okay. So I forgot about the cruise. So would you, of all the trips that you've taken, would you recommend the cruise over Walt Disney World?
Oh, Sarah, that's tough.
Because you had said the adult time and that, they have a whole floor dedicated to the kids. And,
yeah,
I liked what you said. You had the wristband where you can tell where your kids are at all times. And then you can go off and do your adult thing with your spouse.
Yeah. If you're wanting a little bit more of a relaxing vacation, then the cruise would be the way to go because they still have character experiences. They have, you can have characters sign things. They have character meet and greets, all of those things. So there's still that aspect to it. But if you want the park, you want the rides, you want all of that, then you would have to do Walt Disney World Resort or Disneyland.
Okay. And Leslie had mentioned something in the session yesterday that I want to emphasize. So she had said something that she probably didn't think was a big deal, but I liked it. She said, it's helpful to have a travel agent that can tell you what sidewalk to get on to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big place. I was there when I was 10, and I remember some about the trip, but I have no idea how big the place actually was. Because when you're 10, it looks a whole lot different than when you're 30 something. So I was just kind of focused on my own world, and going as an adult is going to be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. Walt Disney World can be very overwhelming if you've never been before. So definitely having someone with a little bit of experience and expertise is super helpful in navigating that.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. We're going to go ahead and end this session. Again, here's her contact information, and she's on the Team Rah Rah group page. So,
hey, and good luck to everybody. I hope you all earn your vacations. That's awesome.
It's a non-negotiable, isn't it, ladies?
That's right. Not an option.
Melissa has just had 4 people join her team since March 24th. So wow. She is well on her way. So.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
So,
thank you.
All right. Well, thanks again, and you'll have a wonderful day.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.